long wait, the day is finally here, where candidates grit meet the road. After months of campaigning, or in some cases not today, their will be put to the test. And here, to bring it to you live from the beautiful shores of the very public Campbell Lake, your hosts, Sabrina Combs, Cale Green, and Jeff Landfield.
All right, folks, we are here live from the very beautiful and public Campbell Lake. Jeff Landfield with Sabrina Combs and Cale Green.
Hello.
Cale, hello.
Hey, how are you
Sabrina?
doing, buddy?
Hi. Hey, bud.
2020 primary election central. Very happy to be here. We're going to be breaking down the races, the results, talking to candidates, interviewing folks all over the state of Alaska. Very excited to be here. We want to first give a big shout out to our sponsors, GCI, Dittman Research, Alaskans for Sustainable Budgets, Blueprint Alaska, and AK Alchemist. If you need internet, if you need polling, call Dittman. GCI, obviously. If you need a snack or some drinks, you go to AK Alchemist. If you need a consultant, you go to Blueprint. And if you want to look into those sustainable budgets, you call Alaskans for a Sustainable Budget. That's our sponsors. We're very happy to have them. Sabrina, what do you think about our location here?
It's the most beautiful public lake in Anchorage.
It's a very pretty public lake, and it's right behind us.
It's gorgeous.
We're very happy to be here. Tonight's a primary, Cale. A lot of races, a lot of contested primaries, a lot of actually just people are winning by default.
Yeah, well, a lot of uncontested primaries, a lot of people who... I think what we're going to talk about today is going to be so fascinating because there are so many races that matter in places that people don't know about.
Right. I think for the people in Anchorage, there's the Anchorage races we're aware of. Sabrina, you're from the Valley.
I'm a Palmer girl, yes.
And we did an article last night, Landmine picks, primary picks.
And I waited until today to read it, and I was like, oh my God, they're so wrong on so many of them.
So you don't like our picks.
I was not part of those picks, and I don't endorse most of them.
I just gotta say, we just got a message, and someone's not a fan of the booze. I mean, we have a little bit of alcohol here.
And just for the record, I see on the screen that it's all in front of me, and that's just placement, folks.
It's product placement. I mean, we should actually be White Claw should be sponsoring this thing.
It would be a big deal.
I feel like
we're never able to get anyone.
What I've been told is there ain't no law when you're drinking the claw.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so the polls are open till 8, right? So we have about 25 minutes before the polls close. And then we're going to be getting some results. Now, the unfortunate thing is the results tonight are not going to include absentee ballots.
Which, in this election, is a lot of them.
It's going to be huge. It's like record-breaking absentee, and there's going to be nothing counted tonight.
Right, because of the COVID, there's been 4 or 5 times the amount of absentee ballots requested. And in the past, for the last couple elections, they've shown kind of the number of absentee ballots that have been counted up to Monday, and now they're going to wait till the 25th. So in some of these races, some of these results, we're not going to really know if it's close, if it's at all close. We're not going to have an idea until next week. And there's been, I got to pull back the numbers, but I think more Democrats and nonpartisans requested absentee ballots than Republicans.
Yep. So as of just a couple days ago, undeclared, there were 16,430 ballots requested, absentee ballots. Nonpartisan, almost 12,000. Republican, 15,000. And Democrat, almost 17,000. So quite a few absentee ballots requested.
All right, Scott, if you can hear us, maybe lower the music volume, according to somebody, and get Cale's mic up a little bit. That's what some of the feedback. Folks, if you're watching and you want to comment on the YouTube Live or the Facebook Live, tell us what you think. Give us some feedback. Let us know what you think about these races. There's several 10 or 11 races that are just uncontested totally in the state. So there's no primary, no general. Laddie Shaw is one of them. Senator Tom Begich, one of them. Garen Tarr, Zach Fields. These folks have no opponents.
Exactly.
Primary or
there's
general.
a lot of Democrats in Anchorage, people from the Democratic Party in Anchorage who are totally uncontested. I think that ends up being like a lot of them, but definitely some people like Shaw.
Only a few Republicans, Shaw, and then Mike Prax, who was appointed by the governor to fill the Tammy Wilson seat.
That's the North Pole seat.
Correct.
Yeah.
Number, I think, District 3. Now, he had an opponent for a while, but then that kind of went away after the deadline,
And Scott, I don't know if you want to mute your mic. Just
We got a
wandering there.
little. Give us a little
Scott's
meat there, Scotty.
in the back doing all the really important stuff, and
Yeah, Scott is
little
absolutely
click, click.
incredible. I don't know if you guys can see
huge
this.
shout out.
We also want to give a big
Jensen.
shout out to Jensen Hall. So Scott Jensen, Carolyn Hall, Jensen Hall Creative. They're the ones putting on the live stream. We got an amazing setup here, multiple cameras. If you recall, 2 years ago we did the Election Central for the primary and the general. It was pretty good, but I'd say this is a little bit more.
Oh, I was
Oh
the
my
person
gosh.
filming that. It was terrible.
One camera.
That was me. I know from experience what the
camera.
setup was. We were on borrowed time throughout the entirety of both the general and the primary. So this setup from Scott, this is legit, and he spent so much time not only figuring out these systems, buying these
There's
systems.
3 cameras on us.
Kale
right now,
has some
guys.
lights. We have a little bit of an audience behind us.
It's super impressive. And
this
if anything
lake
goes
is just really nice.
Scott
If
brought,
anything
he brought
goes
the
wrong-
lake.
Yeah.
It was
If
pretty
anything goes wrong, the only reason is because there's so much going on here, and Scott is one man, one incredible man. But
I have to say,
still,
for what we're doing
he's
here,
doing
there should-
so
there should-
well.
there's one guy back there. What we're doing here, we should probably have 5.
Audio,
Oh, you don't. 'cause
lights.
you're
But
the
that's,
landmine.
that's,
grip.
that's the landmine. So, like I said, folks, we're going to be getting polls close at 8. We're not going to have results till probably 9. So we're going to be talking here, interviewing candidates.
Mm-hmm.
We have a bunch of candidates that have. Oh, someone's.
Who's that? It sounds a little bit like Hunky Lee.
Who is that? heard a
I heard a loud booming
heard a loud
voice.
sound there. That could have been one of our candidates. We'll
Either
get back
that
to
or it's a
him.
big problem. We just got done talking about how great this was. And we're gonna find out maybe it's not.
So I want to talk about our landmine picks
Oh,
before
yes.
the polls close. We have some time.
We got to go through them.
Sabrina, you didn't like. We
I
can
didn't
go
like
through
some
the.
of them.
We
Let's
can go
just
through
go
all
through
these.
it. Yeah,
Okay, let's
so-
go through. This is the landmine picks. This is the landmine staff has gone
I
through.
mean, I think the best thing too, if anyone disagrees with any of them, we should jump in and start talking about them because I think that might be a helpful place, just so we're not.
Well,
repeating
you
it
guys
over.
helped pick them, so it'll just be me that's disagreeing.
I don't know. Jeff really has the ultimate say on this, so I very well.
I mean,
disagree with
there was
some of
a
them. There's a collaborative.
There was
There
All right,
collaboration.
definitely
well,
was.
let's
I
get
thought
started
most of them
then.
I liked.
We have starting off U.S. Senator for the Dems, Al Gross. That's a given. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
He's been. I mean, I've not. I think I've seen an Al Gross ad on the TV or radio, or heard it on the radio every day for the last 2 weeks.
Yes.
I mean, he is absolutely everywhere. There's no competition as far as who's going to be winning the Democratic.
Worth
primary
noting, he
for
does
US
have
Senator.
he does have 2 opponents.
Yeah.
Also
but
worth noting is I'm a registered Democrat and I've never heard of Edgar Blatchford. I never received a mailer. I never
I don't-
received anything.
I did a podcast with him. He actually told me he was. I think he raised like $500, and he was like, "Wouldn't it be amazing if I won
Yes, it
with
would.
only raising $500?" I said, "If you won, it'd probably be a national story."
Yes,
people
absolutely.
would write stories going into the history. It's not just an intermediate momentary blip. That
Right.
would be history for forever.
Folks, I gotta
Forever.
say, we just got a text. You guys are hilarious. Broadcasting live. This Campbell Lake thing is. It's not a green screen. They think it's a green. It's not a green screen.
Oh, this
is-
isn't green screen, guys. I
This is
drove
not a
in
green
from,
screen. This-
from
we're
Palmer.
live.
This is it.
we might see a plane take off or land here.
Originally, I think the idea was
minute.
to be outside, but thank God we didn't plan for
It's
that.
a
'cause
little gross
raining.
out today.
Scott, if you can hear me just real quick, a few folks are texting on the music a little bit loud, so let's take that down a bit.
There's music like
there's-
to our background.
Oh yeah,
Oh, how fancy!
that's how we roll.
This is fancy.
So-
All right, moving on. We have U.S. Representative, also Elise Galvin. That's a given as well.
Worth noting, she does have 2 opponents.
Yep.
Ray
Sean.
Tugatuk,
You gonna hit that last name?
Bill
How'd you wanna do
Hibbler.
that?
So one of these guys, one of these people had sent out like a mailer and did a post and basically said that if they won, they were going to ensure Nancy Pelosi was retired.
Oh,
This is a Democrat.
On the Democratic side.
Yes.
interesting.
Several folks sent it to me.
Ooh,
They have a lot of
someone's
power
at
then,
the
huh?
door. All right, moving on. U.S. Representative to
Oh, we're hearing some feet. Hunky Lee? We got a guest at 7:50. Let's talk to Hunky Lee for a few minutes, and then we'll get him back later. Hunky Lee, how you doing?
Can you hear us?
Hunky, can you hear us?
He's drinking from a red. He's drinking from a red
He's
solo
having-
cup.
Hunky
I don't know
Lee,
if he
can you
knows
hear
he's
us?
Drink
on.
out of a red Solo cup. We love that.
Yeah, I cannot hear you.
Oh, you need to have your head,
You have to have your earbuds
earbuds
in,
in.
Some
partner.
headphones.
Do you have
You
some
have headphones?
headphones?
Earphone? Okay.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, he's
Read
gonna
the
get,
instruction.
Hunky Lee's gonna go get
Hunky
those.
is running in Senate District D. It's a 6-way jammed up primary.
That one's
Senator
so interesting.
David Wilson's the incumbent,
I mean,
and there's
you can't split
Scott,
the
do you want to
Republican
go
vote
ahead
that
and
far.
mute your mic,
we got
Scott?
some feedback there going on, guys. Scott Jensen. Yeah, there we go.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
So Hunky Lee, he's running in a 6-way Republican primary in the Valley in Wasilla. I think he's getting his headphones.
Sounds like he's situating himself now.
He's actually.
So have either of you ever met Hunky Lee in
I have,
person?
and he's big karaoke, and he's actually running for president. He wants to run for president.
He does. Yep. This is like a.
No sound? You can't hear anything?
We hear you, Hunky.
We can hear you fine, Hunky. Can you hear us, partner?
There we go.
There he is. So, Hunky Lee, you're running in a 6-way primary in Senate District D in the Valley. Tell us about yourself.
Oh, hi, everybody. My name is Hunky Lee.
Scott, please mute yourself, Scott.
But,
Are you there?
yeah.
How do you feel like the race is going?
Oh, yeah, it's very interesting race. 6 of us, mostly we get along very well. And but
Oh, we got some other
other
audio coming on.
today. And yeah.
Oh, is that Don Young?
Yeah, it's Don Young.
I think we have Don Young. Hunky, one second here. We got a little bit of a new system here. Just 1 second. I think we have Congressman Don Young on the screen there. We're going to go to Don Young.
We'll come
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
We're going to come back to you, Hunky. Just 1 second. Scott, can you pull up Congressman Young? Sorry, Congressman. We're just getting you on the screen here in 1 second. Just bear with us for 1 second. Sorry about that. We got Don Young, Congressman Don Young, coming on hot here in a second. Bear with us, folks. New system.
This is fantastic.
This is getting very loose. I mean,
This is pretty
folks,
good.
this is Landmine. This is last Landmine, so we're on a bit of a budget here.
Oh my gosh, and there he is.
There's Congressman Don Young. Can you hear us, Congressman?
Don Young.
You guys are breaking up. That's the only problem. So if you ask the question and make a comment, if I say repeat it, we'll repeat it.
Okay, we can hear you fine. You have a 3-way primary tonight. How you feeling?
Not good.
He's not hearing it.
Oh, we're having an issue with his audio. If you can hear us, just tell us about your race. We'd love to hear from you. And you have a 3-way primary, but I feel pretty.
I can hear you now.
Oh, good. Okay, there we go.
How you feeling about your race?
It's not coming through, partner.
Oh man, it's got Congressman Young in here.
We got the guy on.
It must be on his end. I'm not sure, Congressman, if you can hear us.
I can hear you now.
Okay, how's your race going? No, he's not hearing.
All right, we're gonna Scott, go ahead and go back to the panel. I'm gonna text his guy and see if I think it's an issue on their test, on their end. Sorry.
If so, we can just text the questions over.
Can you guys talk, please? Okay.
Yeah,
This is-
absolutely.
sorry.
It's coming
All right,
through.
all
So
right.
we're a little bit curious to hear what you're thinking about your race. How do you think you're doing in the primary?
Oh, I think we're doing good. You know, this is interesting. I've been to a lot of primaries. But, you know, this is what we call pregame. It's preseason game. This is not the big one. And we hopefully will see whether we got some weak spots. And it's sort of, okay, what do we do if something goes wrong? But it looks good. And, again, it's the amount of people get out and vote is going to make the difference. And with a closed primary, it's a little different than an open primary. It's really not a bellwether like a regular election.
Now, Congressman, how many? I gotta say, you've been in what 20 some primaries, 25, 24 primaries.
Well, at 25 general elections, I've been in 6 primaries that I had opposition. The closest one was Sean Parnell, and he came within 304 votes of beating me. That was an interesting race. So some of them I've done real well and some not so well. And a lot of times I have many opposition in the primary.
When you're in D.C., you know you're the longest-serving congressman. I assume does everybody kind of know you compared to some congressman that was elected 2 years ago who's brand new?
Well, I'm not bragging now, but everybody in the Congress, all 434 other Congress, know me. And that's a plus and a minus, because it depends on who tells them who I am. There's some that don't like me. I know that, and I respect that. But overall, I think most of them respect me because I really am pretty definite. And when I say something, they know my word is gold. And that is a rare commodity a lot of times in Congress, because if I tell you I'm going to help you, I'll help you. I don't care what party you are. And I'll really work for you, even if it's not popular to do it. I'm going to do it if I tell you that. So they know that, and they respect that. And then they know where I sit, too. I'm the only one who's got actually his own seat in the whole House. It's fun because they go around and explain to the freshmen how they're supposed to conduct themselves on the floor. And they say, whatever you do, don't sit in that seat. The rest of the seat's open. Everybody can sit anywhere they want to. But they actually tell the freshmen that. And I started that when I was chairman, because then everybody knew where I was, and they wanted something, needed some help or something, they'd come to see me. And I've just kept doing it, and they respect that.
So do you have any tonight big plans? I know the COVID, it's not as easy to kind of do the election parties as before, but what are your plans for this evening?
Well, really, not much. I'm here on this show, and very frankly, we're sort of just sitting back, and they wave signs today, and the rain came and sort of put a kibosh on that. But the big party, and I really miss the Alaska Central when we used to have the thing down at the Egan Center or one of the hotel Captain Cook or where we were going to have it. I miss those parties. They were a lot of fun. Everybody's excited. And it's sort of a little different now because of the computer system, and nobody will know exactly who's won all these races till we count all the absentee ballots. And remember, these are absentee ballots and not mail-in ballots, or absentee ballots. It makes a great deal of difference. So, the night's going to be kind of quiet. I'll spend some time with my campaign group, and I will spend some time with my wife. And we'll just, see what happens. Get ready. I have to fly back to D.C. tomorrow night, and going to have a vote on maybe a virus bill, and definitely probably on the post office program. So we'll be back there until probably next Wednesday.
Thanks,
then
Sabrina.
I come back up, and then I have to travel to 3 or 4 places that we did not get to because of the flu, and then go back east on the 8th of September.
Sabrina Combs has a quick question.
Yeah, Congressman, what are your thoughts on going round 2 with Elise Galvin right now?
Doing what?
Going for your second round of elections against Elise Galvin.
Well, I don't really care who runs against me, but I will give you a little history. We've had, I believe, 4 candidates that ran against me the second time, and I beat them real bad the second time around. And I expect to do that this time. I can remember, John Devens, he came real close to beat me the first time, and then he came back second time, and I whacked him real good. And actually, I believe Peggy Beggish ran against me twice. And first time came relatively close, big time beating in the second time. A lot of voters know that if they don't vote for him the first time, they're not going to vote for him the second time. But I run hard, and the campaign runs hard, and we run as if whoever's going to run against me possibly could win. But we expect to win, and if we don't win, that's the choice of the Alaskan voter. I'm not going to jump off a bridge. I haven't built it, so we'll just see what happens.
Well, Congressman, we appreciate. I know you're very busy tonight. We appreciate you coming on the live stream and talking with us and chatting with us. And I'm gonna say best of luck tonight. But I think we're gonna go ahead and call it for you before the results even.
Jeff, you're not on the ballot tonight, are you?
I'm not. No, I'm in the general. We're coming up in November, so we talk about that.
Okay.
That's a great endorsement potentially.
I'll see you guys tomorrow, and we look forward to communicating, and we're this has been an interesting time. I've been watching some convention back east, and it's sort of like I like watching related to.
It's not you.
Okay, we'll see you later.
Congressman,
right,
thank you
thank
so
you.
much. We
Congressman.
really appreciate coming on tonight. That was great.
God bless.
Thank you. You too, Congressman. Great guest, huh?
Super good guess.
Wow.
Actually, I really like the.
I like how he kind of came in hot and he was like, "Hello, like, am I on? Am I on? Am I live?"
It's kind of tough that the congressman is one of the first guests.
Well, we had Hunky Lee.
I'm not saying the first guest. I'm saying one of the first guests.
We should try to bring Hunky. Is Hunky in the is Hunky in the room?
Oh, he's coming back.
We feel bad about it. We have to.
Hi, Hunky.
Hunky, hey, sorry we had to bump you. We had Congressman Don Young. I
Hunky,
hope you understand.
All was not hunky dory, but now you're back.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Great, Kale. That's
Hunky, when you're elected president one day, you will be able to bump Don Young.
Oh, all right.
Hunky. I have to
Sounds good.
ask you want to. I have to ask just because of your accent. Are you natural born?
Yeah, I was born in Ithaca, New York in 1978. My parents came to America, Ithaca, New York, Cornell University. Because my dad was studying for PhD in economics. So I was born there. Yeah.
So you are eligible to run for president.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
So tell us. So you're in a 6-way Republican primary, which is the most jammed up primary this cycle, against Senator David Wilson, the incumbent. Tell us why you're running and kind of why you think there's so many folks in your primary.
Well, the reason I'm running is because I love politics. And, about 2 years ago, I passed the Alaska bar exam. So now I'm a lawyer. So before I passed the bar exam, I was so busy studying for the bar exam. And now that I passed the bar exam and got a lawyer job, I have my spare time. So now I can run. So that's why I'm running. And yeah, I always love politics.
Got Sabrina here. You got it.
That's great. Hunky, you attend a lot of meetings out in the Valley, especially. What would you say is the biggest issue that Wasilla, specifically your area, is facing?
In my opinion, Wasilla has no issue whatsoever. Wasilla does not quite need me. Okay, it's more like I need Wasilla to vote for me. Why? Because I love politics. Okay, Wasilla has no problem. I mean, there are small problems, but compared to other cities, Wasilla is fantastic. People in Wasilla or Greater Wasilla area, like Big Lake, Point McKenzie, Meadow Lakes, North Lake, Clinic Fairview, they got no problem. Some small problems, okay, but they don't quite need me.
Wasilla doesn't need you. Okay, well that's definitely.
I've heard from some folks that you're really big into karaoke. I'd love to have you. I mean, I go to Asia Garden a lot, so once COVID kind of passes, I'd love to meet you there, and it'd be a lot of fun. Love Asia Garden; it's a great place.
All right, Hunky.
Well, Hunky, thank you for calling in. We appreciate you. Wish you the best of luck tonight. I know you're in a
great.
6-way race.
That's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Hunky.
Thanks, Hunky.
Nice to meet you.
Yep. Thank you. 감사합니다. Yeah. I gotta say, Hunky Lee, I've met him a few times. High energy. As
High
you can
energy
tell.
all the time. He attends many meetings out in the Valley and often speaks off topic, but is a joy to be around for sure.
I think he was actually like has some toilet paper in his hand.
Yeah, I didn't understand what was happening. I
Comments
didn't
about that
know
in
what
the
was
live
going
stream.
on.
I mean, that's got to be. I mean, in Wasilla, I know that they were definitely buying up a lot of toilet paper. He must have, on the Valley, he must have a lot from the beginning of COVID. I don't know what that was all about, but he's got it very clearly.
I like that he said Wasilla doesn't have any problems.
Crime seems to be one. I think that I remember somewhere being online this Matsu crime group. I think there's a
Matsu
couple.
crime
No. Do not use
Isn't that-
Matsu
don't-
Crime Group as your register for how much crime is happening.
I think
in the
Sabrina is
Valley.
familiar with that group or knows.
Why is that?
Hey, Maddie. Hi. Oh, we're live.
Really quickly, we did get delivered some Alaska Alchemist coffees.
Oh, so-
Please.
By the way,
please.
folks, for those folks that are watching, we just want to one more time. We're going to be doing this throughout the night, but a big shout out to our sponsors, GCI, right there.
GCI.
Also HBO.
Do you want some of that? You want some coffee?
Probably one of those. Yeah.
It's some of the best in town from AK Alchemist.
AK Alchemist is one of our sponsors.
Absolutely incredible.
Let me pass this to Sabrina. But GCI,
Thank you.
great internet. Actually, we're on Campbell Lake here, and we have some of the best GCI gigabit internet. It's amazing. So if you're looking for internet, go to GCI. If you're in the GCI service area, Dittman Research, great polling company. Alaskans for Sustainable Budgets, Brad Keithley's group. They do a lot of work on the budget if you're interested in that. Blueprint Alaska, PR Consulting. Sabrina's familiar with them.
I am. Shout out to Cassie Campbell, senior account rep. I don't know if I got that right, Cass, but you just got a promotion and I'm proud of you.
Sarah McWard over there is just awesome.
She is.
And then obviously AK Alchemist. If you need some snacks or some food or a beer on the deck in the summer,
if you're running Election Central, they'll deliver you coffee.
Yeah, it's 4th and A. It's just right there. You can't miss it.
It's the best.
There's a little drive up. There's a deck. The whole deal.
I used to live in Government Hill, and I'm just disappointed it wasn't there when I lived in Government Hill.
Okay, so the polls are closing in about 3 minutes.
All right, so we'll get back to, we were going through the rundown. Now we are on to Senate. Oh, no, I went way too far.
We were actually on Don Young when
Yes,
Don Young
and
came on the stream.
Don Young is going to win his primary. I'm positive of it.
Yeah, I think the Landmine's staff picks article that said enough said is really all that
enough.
needs to be said about
right.
the dean of the house.
I mean, this guy's been in there since 70. I think he was appointed in 73.
Don't you think maybe it's long
I mean, that's
enough?
incredible.
I mean, I'm assuming he's immortal. I'm assuming because I've always voted for him, and I will vote for him after he goes away, if he goes away, if that's even a possibility.
You'll vote for him after he goes away?
Oh, yeah. I'm a young
Why?
man. I'll write him in. He's a big
I can make a
deal.
Gabrielle Ledoux joke there. But.
Here we go. All right.
So
All right,
I voted
different.
today. I pulled a Republican ballot, and I did check the box for Young. So
I did not get that ballot.
Actually, I filled the circle.
I was very loudly told that I was getting a different ballot. So.
Well, I want to hear about that story.
Yeah,
later.
we'll talk about it. All right, we're on to Senate Seat B, Republican primary. This is John Coghill's seat. You guys chose him to win over Robert Myers, and I would agree, for sure.
We said should win. We think he's probably going to win, but he is under a fire, like many Senate Republicans, for kind of not being the stalwart, with Dunleavy person, and there's a whole kind of mess in the Senate. So he's under fire for, funny enough, strangely enough, not being conservative enough.
Yeah.
John Coghill.
Yeah, it's one of these things, though, too, when we're looking at races like this, and, what someone sees in Anchorage isn't necessarily a good litmus test as to what candidates are putting out, but I definitely haven't seen a whole lot. So I'm assuming that both of these candidates are running, non-modern campaigns. So they're doing a lot of radio ads, or they're doing a lot of mailers, stuff that would be a little bit more targeted to the Fairbanks area, stuff that none of us would possibly see. Because I have seen nothing from these two candidates, even looking online. It's just been very, hard to find good information about them.
Yeah, Myers hasn't raised a great deal of money, but he's out there. He's on the Facebook.
Yeah, well, I don't think Facebook wins campaigns quite yet.
Kel, if Facebook won campaigns, then I would have.
You would have won many
4
years
years
ago.
Because during a similar thing, when Mark Begich was asked, I remember who was going to win the Senate L Republican primary. He said you. And he's a pretty seasoned guy.
Let's just put the knife in and twist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
well,
who should have won that? Great.
if social media won, but it didn't in 2016, and I don't think it does. I mean, this will be pretty interesting. I know that there are a lot of candidates on this list who spent a lot of money on social media, and we'll see how it pans out for them. Because every year we go forward, in other forms of broadcast, Facebook, social media, Instagram, Twitter, they've all taken up so much of the percent of spending for marketing budgets, but we'll see how much influence they actually have. And I think that some of these races are a really good metric for that.
Awesome. Moving on to Senate Seat D, Republican primary. This is what we were just talking to Hunky Lee.
You said Mr. Hunky Lee on there.
Six-way Valley primary. David Wilson is the incumbent, and he should easily win. I would agree.
I mean, you say incumbents benefit in 3 ways. Well, I don't know. 6 ways seems to be. I think Wilson could easily get over half the vote.
Oh, yeah.
Because some of these folks haven't spent any money. Now, one of these Rupright is related to...
Is related to Vern Rupright. I believe it's his wife. We looked up this. I think it's his wife. He was the former mayor of Wasilla, and yeah.
I got to say, Stephen Wright, he's pretty amazing. He's a full PFD payback. He's a full PFD forever. He's a no taxes, no revenues, and just slash them budgets. Mm-hmm. It's a great... Seems like a great plan.
Senate District L, Republican primary. Full disclosure.
Disclaimer there.
Okay, so let's just talk about Senate District L. Jeff,
of the way.
Yeah, if you want to be out of the frame or maybe not say anything. So Jeff is running. Jeff is running as an independent in the general election for Senate District L. So maybe if you don't provide any commentary, I know you've been going to door, so you have some really good anecdotal information, but we're gonna just avoid that. I'm going to say...
I'm just going to look over here at Kale and say, I believe Natasha will win, but if Stephen Duplantis wins... Jeff Landfill will be the next senator.
Yeah,
Senate
and
District
I think the biggest
I
thing
was gonna say
is,
that happens. I'm leaving the stream.
I mean,
leaving
I can't imagine a scenario where Natasha doesn't win this one, but because I haven't seen that much from Duplantis. But the real question will be how many people vote against Duplantis, because that's going to be a number that's important for the general going forward. Because how many Republicans are dissatisfied with Natasha?
Do you think anyone at this table will be paying close attention to those numbers?
I'm assuming maybe no, probably not.
Probably
No.
not. All right.
Yeah,
we'll
probably
move
not.
on to Senate District M. Revac. Is that how we say that?
It's Revac.
Oh, sorry. I don't
This is 2
possess
years
that
ago
ability.
during the Election Central for 2018 primary. We partnered with ADN, and I think I told them I was running an independent expenditure, but maybe they didn't get the message. But after that very successful event, it was kind of requested that in the
You
general,
stop
I don't
saying that.
scream Revac.
When you're running
whole
or
night.
spending $30,000 on his behalf for a primary.
Right.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, I
pretty
mean,
much
like,
it. Yeah.
I get it from the journalistic ethics standpoint,
Ooh.
but
Is that what my voice sounds
I just gotta
like?
say, folks, real quick, I want to just interrupt. We're live on, we're live on KONR Out North Radio 106.1 in Anchorage. So if you're in Anchorage and you're listening on KONR, you can stream it on the radio, just the audio. I should be telling myself this, but we're not going to be using any foul language per FCC.
We won't? Why did you just now tell me this?
that what? What's going?
Just watch the foul language for the FC. We're live.
I feel
we're,
like this should have been like a pregame
we're
conversation.
KONR as well. So
Okay, got it.
just
Thank goodness.
feel like I'm talking to myself there.
Yeah.
And then also the polls are closed. So it's 8
Oh,
o'clock.
wow.
Polls are closed.
It's
We're gonna
happening.
We're going to get the results usually an hour and a half. Depends when they close. We'll get the results. And
Also, I mean, it should be a little bit quicker. It's not like they're going to have a whole lot of ballots to deal with
just
in
kind
person,
of
I'm
like
assuming.
send in the total. We'll get some
Did-
updates over the course of the night, I
How
think.
did you guys vote? Did you vote in person today?
I voted today.
I voted
I
in
did
person over
too.
at the Sears Mall.
I didn't obligatory.
Sears Mall?
Yeah,
You early
Where's
voted.
your normal polling place?
District 14,
I know, but like where would you have normally voted?
Alpenglow.
And so it wasn't in the school, it was at Sears Mall.
No, I went to the Sears Mall instead.
Well, you early voted or you voted in person?
I voted
question?
in person. Yeah. So I voted. So it's an early voting location, but I voted a question ballot in person over at the Sears Mall. I usually try to go to the Division of Elections. I just like going to the Division of Elections. But when I went there, they were over at the Sears Mall. So that's
I went
the
to
early
Taku
voting
Lake
location.
and I posted my obligatory election.
I saw it.
voting.
You're
Those are
wearing your
illegal.
mask.
You know, those
I wore
ballot
the mask
selfies.
in the
Yeah, that's
inside.
impressive. Ooh. Hi, Scott. We hear you.
So we're
All right.
on. Where are we at now?
We're at Senate District M, Democratic primary. So they have both raised $0. Nicholas Willie and Anita Thorne.
Well, you're in the Democratic.
Oh, you're in the Democratic one
Let's
because
go
we
to the
have.
Republican one first.
We already talked about it, Revac.
I mean, Revac's going to win, but did we talk about
Oh, sorry.
why we thought he was going to win?
Well, I mean,
he
so-
just is.
I've been kind of following this one. So Harold Borbridge, I think he's watching the stream. Hi, Harold. Hasn't raised much money. Very aggressive on the Hack and Sack Facebook group, which same 150 people, maybe less. Ray Metcalf, Disco Ray Metcalf, that's his name. He was elected in the early 80s in the Alaska legislature. He's run as a Democrat for U.S. Senate. He's run as Libertarian, I think. He actually used to have his own party, the Alaska Moderate Party, which was a thing for a while. Disco Ray, he was a big disco dancer in the 80s. He's on there as a Republican
Was
as well.
that his like legit nickname?
100%. I didn't make that up. That's his name. That's
I want a cool nickname like that.
Disco Ray. So Harold and Ray. have
Harold just
raised-
said hey to us on Facebook.
Oh, I'm watching the stream.
Hey,
yeah,
Harold.
raised not very much money. Revac's campaigning hard, a lot of money. He'll win the primary.
All right. Sorry for skipping so quickly. Do we need to talk about the Democratic?
I think we should mention it because there's two candidates, both raised no money. Anita's run before
Oh.
for the House, I think. But there's also, in the general, there's Andy Holloman, who's running as a petition candidate.
So there's a
Oh.
little bit of a variable in this one. And honestly, Jeff, I'd be a little bit curious to hear your take on why, because this was something I wasn't, participating in. I had no idea who Anita was, who Nicholas was. Why do you think Anita's going to win this one?
She's run before. I think she ran for the House, and I got to check the House in 2018 here.
So you think just by like
just a
name recognition?
This
Okay.
Nicholas, no one knows. I've never heard of the person. Raised no money, not campaigned. So just kind of by name ID default.
Sure. Okay.
And that'll be interesting to see what happens after that. If that's the situation, August 31st is the deadline to withdraw from the general.
Yeah.
So we'll if she wins, will it be a
You said
revac?
August 31st?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
will be a revac. Andy Holloman kind of face off and the
You think that she's going to pull out?
I don't know. It's possible. I mean, she's raised no money, so not
So
campaigning.
suddenly you have someone like Andy, who's Andy was my computer teacher back in like 8th grade.
He's been around for a long time.
Yeah, I mean he's just a really nice human being. I really like Andy. I've always gotten along with him really well. I also really like Josh Revak. That's going to be, if the Democrat drops out, that's going to be probably a pretty interesting race to watch.
Sorry, I think Scott's trying to wire in. I think we might have. Is Julia Hinkler trying to get on, or is that not? I think we might have a Julia Hinkler from District 6.
Say it again. Nalika?
Oh, sorry. I thought it was Hinkler for the last several months.
Girlfriend, I was saying it wrong too.
I still think it's
My
Hinkler. How
bad.
did you say it again?
Nalika. So you're running in the District 6 race, but you're not in the primary, right?
She's not on yet.
She's
is
not
what
on
we're-
yet. So only we're just talking to ourselves.
Oh,
over
we're
here.
talking to her. Okay.
That's fine.
We'll wait. We'll do all this again. Don't
Go
worry.
ahead, yeah, go ahead and spin her up, Scott.
Scott's just working on the back end to make sure you guys can see.
Again, folks, we have a great guy, Scott Jensen, here with Jensen Hall Creative, and
We owe him like
he's doing
a
the job of
dinner
about 4
or
people.
Maybe.
We got Paxton over there. He looks like he's having a
Paxton's
jolly old time. He's doing
He's
tasks.
being
He's doing
tasked,
stuff.
and he is.
We actually got a great team of folks here. There's a little hockey going on. It's not a
This
green screen.
undisclosed location is just really nice.
It's not a green screen.
Yeah, I've
This is
seen
real.
a couple of green
If
screen
anyone
comments.
wants
It's
to
not.
go for like a kayak on Campbell Lake, we'll get you in the background.
If you're on Campbell Lake and you have a boat,
please.
Dude, there are some kayakers right over there. Do you see
just
them?
zip by.
See those kayakers? I
love
know
to
they're
see
not
it.
watching the stream, but I can
Oh,
see them
there
right over
are.
here.
Anyway, now's a great time to get out on Campbell Lake.
Scott,
public
can we spin up Julie?
He's working on it.
We're spinning her up. Wow, somebody just commented, I was watching this, and someone asked me if Jeff was Alex Jones.
People say that all the time.
I'm more used to the DJ
There
Khaled
she
comments.
The hell?
is. Hi.
Are you seeing her on there?
I see her. She's on.
Can everyone else see her and hear as well, Scott?
Maybe it's
No, not
just
yet.
me that can see you. How are you?
That's strange.
It is strange since we're both on Facebook.
We can see,
I
we
can
can see
hear
her.
her and I can see
Oh, and I
her.
can see her now
Yeah.
too. She's up.
Yay.
So Julie, welcome to the live stream here. So you're District 6, but you're not you're running as Democrat, but not contested, correct?
You have
Yeah.
screwed up her name.
I called you Julie Hinkler.
Both. We got both of her names wrong.
I've done bad.
Unbelievable.
What can I say? I messed it up. Sorry.
So how are you feeling tonight?
Oh, I'm feeling really good. It's a beautiful night here in the interior, and I'm just so excited that on the 100th anniversary of women's voting that I get to vote for myself, which is just so incredible.
That is awesome.
Oh, we got some
Scott, feedback
Can't-
there. You want to?
Well, I'm getting reports that people can't hear Julia. Oh no,
Oh,
now
now
we
they
can. We're
can.
good.
This is fun. This
Sorry,
is like
Scott.
a trial by fire.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, Julia. You were muted. So back.
Okay, so do you want me to tell you how I'm feeling now?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. Tell us how you're feeling.
Now? Great, thank you. I'm just so excited that this evening, which is on the 100th anniversary of women's voting rights, that I got to be on the ballot. And that is just incredible strides for women in America. And, you know, we still have a long way to go, but I'm just so excited to be a part of history.
That's awesome. And so you are from Nenana, is that correct?
I am from Nenana, and that is also probably why you see, I don't know, I'm getting a huge lag on my computer, so you probably have the same.
Yeah, it's probably a bit of a latency, but we can hear you fine.
Great.
So
If you're watching on Facebook Live, the Facebook Live is delayed by 30 seconds no matter what. So if you're watching on the computer, it's just a delay built into Facebook when you do a stream.
So for everyone who doesn't know District 6, do you want to tell us a little bit about it and just the size? I mean, it's got to be one of the biggest districts in the state of Alaska.
Well, we are actually the second largest district, so we're just behind the North Slope. It's really enormous. It is the size of Arizona, geographic. Actually, it's a little bit bigger than Arizona. And I just got back today from doing a road trip around the highway part of the district, which was really exciting. So the district actually stretches from Cantwell to Tanana to Arctic Village, over to the border. So we get Eagle and Northway, and then it slopes down and it gets into the Copper Center, Gakona area. So it is massive and it is so beautiful. We had such a lovely time driving around and seeing the scenery. And our trailer camper survived our very bumpy roads. There's tons of road construction going on in our district. I think every highway that we drove on had road construction this summer. So that's exciting, but just like with everything, we still have a lot of work to do to make sure that those roads are safe for people to travel.
And Julia, you're running in a kind of unique. There's several Republicans. There's you as a Democrat, but then there's some There's some petition independents. So there's a whole bunch of, because this is the Dave Tallarico seat that he's not running for re-election for. So when there's an incumbent who doesn't run, everybody tends to kind of pop in looking for an opportunity. So there's a lot of folks running now in the primary and in the general, right?
That is absolutely correct. So we had 3 Republicans running in the primary, and then we also have 2 confirmed who will be on the general election. One is running as a nonpartisan and the other as an independent, I believe. And then there was another person as well, but I don't think she's gotten her signatures yet. So it's been a really exciting field to run in, very diverse. We got to have our first candidate forum last week, which was really exciting to see how the different candidates varied on issues. And, I just really think that so many people running in this rural and vast and very diverse district is really an exciting chance for people to show how much they care about remote and rural living. So it's been fun.
So, and you're a first-time candidate?
I am, yes. And I've actually been running since November of 2019. I filed my letter of intent at the very end of October.
So you could raise money. You could kind of raise money twice.
Well, yes. I was also working on my master's in rural development at the same time. And so that generally took a lot of my focus throughout the winter months and into the springtime. And I would not say that I took as much advantage of that as I, in retrospect, would have liked to.
Well, you're kind of the whole package here. You got degrees and education.
She's one smart cookie.
You're going to be a good race there in the general.
I agree.
I think Scott's.
Yep.
I think we have Julie. If you can hear us, we have Senator Dan Sullivan coming on, so we're gonna have to bump you real quick. We can come back.
Thank you so much,
Julia. Thank you so much for calling in. Good luck.
Thank you, Julia.
We have that feedback again.
Hearing a little feedback, Scott, if you can. Sorry, folks. We should be spinning up Senator Dan Sullivan here in a second.
Oh my God.
Sabrina, calm down. Just call. I have to get you out of here.
All right.
I gotta say, I'm getting a lot of text messages. I don't know if you guys are.
Me too. My phone is
well,
blowing up.
We got the YouTube stream, we got the live stream on Facebook, and then we got our sponsors, GCI, Dittman Research, Alaskans for Sustainable Budgets.
Can take a second
Blueprint
to
Alaska,
have a sip of my AK Alchemist.
as well as AK Alchemist, which I'm hearing.
You're welcome. Nobody? All right, great.
Is that Senator Sullivan?
I heard him.
Senator Sullivan, can you? We can. How you doing?
Hey,
Senator Sullivan and your wife. Hello, welcome to the
and my
live stream.
wife. Hello, Jeff. Kale. Sabrina.
Hi.
Hi.
How's it going?
We're doing great. We're here on Campbell Lake. We're trying to wait for the results to come in. The polls just closed about 15 minutes ago, and you, Senator Sullivan, are not in a contested primary. So
congratulations.
Congrats.
You won.
Well, it's a little different than it was 6 years ago. Actually, 6 years ago, it's kind of funny with my amazing wife, Julie, sitting next to me. 6 years ago, I lost my voice completely.
I remember that.
And I literally lost my voice. And so when I was given my remarks at the kind of campaign headquarters event that we had, I just would whisper to Julie because that's all I could do, and then she would give the speech.
Yep.
So it was.
It was interesting but fun.
So 6 years ago, you had the kind of the jammed up three-way primary, and then now it's no primary. So I guess must be a lot nicer, not having to worry about kind of focusing on the general.
Well, look, we still went out today. We did some sign waving. We had a huge group of volunteers. It was pouring rain, and we're very motivated on an energized election, and really, really, really important election. Stakes couldn't be higher for Alaska, couldn't be higher for the country. And so today was an exciting day, and it's going to be an exciting day. We're going to watch the returns come in. We got a whole bunch of our younger volunteers here celebrating, but Julie and I are having a beer and celebrating, and
love that.
We're
having a White Claw. I'm having
cheers.
a White Claw.
I'm having
Cheers.
champagne.
Yeah.
Hey, so there's definitely two different factors from the primary from 2014 until now, and I'm a little bit curious to just kind of get your take on. So obviously you don't have opponents. Before you had Joe Miller and Meade Treadwell, and that was one aspect of the campaign. But what is it like doing a U.S. Senate campaign during COVID? And that's got to be such a dramatic thing from 2014.
So much more dramatic, but you guys and you covered it, Jeff and Kale. We did a series of kickoff events about 6 weeks ago, and you can do it socially responsibly, socially distancing with masks. You guys saw what went on in Anchorage and other places, but
we saw Anchorage.
That was wild.
Yeah, Kale, I actually really appreciated the play-by-play that you did. It was, in all seriousness, much needed, right?
I thought so. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it was really well done.
One of the top comments on the YouTube video we had was somebody sent us the video, and they said Matt Chuckrow is either a trained killer or a ninja.
I mean, if anyone had any doubts about Matt Chuckrow's ability to be a campaign manager, I don't think many people did. He definitely just no one is asking questions anymore. That guy just totally showed that he had the stuff that just about no one else in the state does.
He
did a great job.
He played a lot of important roles that night, and so did my wife, by the way.
Yes, you did seem, Julie, seemed to keep a smile on your face actually that entire time. You were very poised.
Thank you. I felt pretty calm and just trying to figure things out. But
yeah, it was a little confusing on what was going on until we saw the bloody caribou heart on the floor. We were trying to figure out what actually was happening.
That was a little confusing, but
that was kind of a national viral moment. I mean, it got picked up by a lot of media. Did you hear about that, DC, or from? You must have had a lot of folks contact you and say what's going on up there.
Yeah, look, we heard about it, and we're again, I appreciate the way you guys covered it. I think that was important. I do think the one message we were saying is, hey, let's not give these guys a big voice, because all you're doing is going to encourage the next violent action at a campaign event. If that's how people think they're going to get their message out, is to throw a little bit of violence into these events. That's not good. It's not safe, and we shouldn't be encouraging that. So yeah, we heard a little bit about it, but we moved on, and the rest of our events were great. And we were down on the Kenai, and we've done a couple more since. Heading down there again tomorrow. I was up in the valley yesterday all day, and but to your question earlier, look, I actually still think, and we believe, that people still want to connect. They want to connect physically. This is a big, important election. People want to see their senator, see the team, right? Julie is the key part of the team, and connect. You guys are all, I know we're all experiencing it, kind of Zoom fatigue. And you can do this responsibly, but on something like this, we still believe that you need the physical connection. So that's what we're doing.
Well, Sabrina and I did an impromptu kind of election central for Anchorage's municipal election, and
in April.
And that's, what, May?
That was
6 months ago.
Yeah. God, was that 6 months ago? Yeah. But it was interesting because we hadn't seen each other in months, and everyone was so excited to get on and talk, but really they just wanted to connect. So I definitely agree with what you're saying.
It was 4 months ago, but I just did some math. But still, it feels like, the Zoom fatigue, I think, is. I read a New York Times article about this kind of fatigue we're all feeling of just not being around people. It's very difficult.
Well, what do you think? What do you think about the election going forward? What do you think about the general election? What do you think your chances are, and what do you think your main hurdles are going to be during the time of COVID going forward into a general election with Al Gross, if he wins, which he probably will?
Well, if he wins, we'll see. Look, I'm gonna run on my record, which is strong, and my vision for our great state and our country. And I think it's going to be a very different record, and certainly a very different vision that the National Democratic Party has for Alaska. I mean, we just had big news yesterday, right, on ANWR. We had big news a couple days earlier on the NPRA. The National Democrats, whether it's Schumer, whether it's Biden, whether it's Harris, they have stated it. They are completely opposed to just those two projects, ANWR and any drilling in the National Petroleum Reserve of Alaska. So I'm optimistic. We have challenges, there's no doubt, but what we've been able to get done, and these were a lot of things that I said we were going to work on and do in 2014, and we've done them. Keeping your commitments is important. I think Alaskans want that. But I think once we get through this pandemic, we have very bright days ahead with a federal government that wants to be a partner and opportunity, not an obstacle. And I think the contrast with regard to what the National Democrats are laying out, they did it Obama, Biden, and Reid. They're laying it out again. Just watch the convention. Just look at the Biden, Bernie Sanders, AOC, climate and energy task force recommendations. There's a bunch of stuff in there that is directly related to shutting down Alaska, putting thousands of jobs that I think we can have soon at risk. And so to me, on so many issues, the contrast is going to be huge on the progress we've made, where we want to keep going, and where the National Democrats want to take us in the opposite direction. I'll just give you one other. I ran in large measure because I was so concerned about the second term of the Obama administration, dramatic cuts to the military. I care deeply about our military for reasons that you guys are probably very aware of. The second term of the Obama administration, they cut defense spending by 25%. We have massively rebuilt our military. I think the vast majority of Alaskans support that. And you may have seen, I just debated Bernie Sanders a couple weeks ago on the floor to argue against his defund the military amendment. That's what he called it. And so, again, this is a huge contrast where we want to go, where the state wants to go. We've got $1.6 billion in military construction just in our state in the last 4 years. And the National Democratic Party clearly wants to go in the opposite direction. Schumer was a co-sponsor of the Sanders Amendment that I argued against, and fortunately we defeated. But we'll have plenty of time to draw these contrasts. But right now, I view our future, we're going to get through this pandemic, as one that's bright. But how bright is going to depend on what happens in November.
Senator, you understand how important the USPS is to Alaskans and getting connected to our villages. What's your stance right now on the controversy that's happening with the Postal Service?
Well, I think a lot of the controversy needs to be unpacked. Some of these policies and procedures were actually put in place a while ago, even some during the Obama administration. But Sabrina, to your point, I've been a huge proponent of the post office. Was making some arguments with some of my colleagues on a call today, and I support, the significant increased funding. I think we're looking at opportunities with that because for our state, probably more than any other state in the country, the universal service obligation is critical, and making sure we continue to have that and the post office functions well during the upcoming election is critical. So the entire congressional delegation, me, Senator Murkowski, Congressman Young, have all been really big advocates for full funding of the post office, and we're going to continue to do that.
Well, Senator Sullivan, I know you're busy. We really appreciate and Julie for coming on. Both of you guys, uncontested primary, so we're going to go ahead and call it for you.
We're gonna call it for you.
Hey, thanks for calling it for us. I don't think anyone's called it for us yet.
We will do it here.
We're calling it.
We're calling it
This is the
first.
definitive election central.
This is really exciting. And by the way, we're really, and I say this in all sincerity, that physical connection idea, part of that has always been election central.
Right? Yes.
And don't you guys agree?
Yes, I missed the days when it was at the Egan Center.
You were on our.
Yes, I was on your podcast a couple of years ago, right?
Well, you were
Remember?
but then we did the election central, and the funny Congressman Young was on earlier, and if you recall, Revac was on. We had a bump Revac for Young, Congressman Young, and then he came back. Then we had to bump him again for you, and he remember that.
Well, Josh used to work for me.
Right.
Well, he used to work for Don too, right?
I remember that.
But I want to thank you guys, right? In all seriousness, for doing this, for continuing to try to do this kind of important connection for all of us. I think most Alaskans actually really enjoy this, whether you were down there physically at the Egan Center or watching it on TV. And so the fact that you guys, the three of you, are trying to keep it going, we want to be part of it, and we're very honored that you called the election for us on your program.
Well, that's what we do. Senator Sullivan and Julie, thank you very much for coming on. I know you two are both very busy, but thank you for taking the time to come onto the live stream and Election Central today for the primary.
Okay. Thanks, you guys.
Thank
Great
you.
job.
Thank you, Senator Sullivan. Julie, appreciate it. I got to say, so far, 2 of the 3 of the delegation, pretty good.
2 winners so far. Come on. I mean, I went through. I don't know if you guys had this. I picked up my Republican ballot, and
so tell Scott real quick to get the. We're frozen on Senator Sullivan and the.
He looks like he's waiting for an answer on our screen.
Oh, there we go. We were just looking at the wrong screen.
Okay.
We're
So I was
like
gonna
staring at it.
My ballot that I picked up today, I'm a registered Republican. It was a Republican ballot, and it was I had Dan Sullivan, 0 choices around him, circled in Dan Sullivan. Don Young, 2 other people, circled in Don Young. Had 1 more. It was a pretty simple election. Like, we had no initiatives, no referendums. It was pretty straightforward.
Yeah, the general ballot is going to be jammed up.
Jammed.
Before the results start coming in, we still probably have 30 minutes or more.